The letter arrived on a Tuesday. Black paper, red ink. It was bad news. The lawyer's words echoed in Billy's ears. "Your grandmother has passed. The house, it's yours now, the old house on Harbinger Lane." Billy shivered. He hadn't thought about that place in years. Not since he was a kid. Not since all those creepy things happened. Billy remembered his grandmother's stories. Whispers of the house's past. Dark secrets. He tried to push the memories away, but they clung to him like cobwebs. He had to go back. It was his now, whether he liked it or not. With a deep breath, Billy decided to face his fears. He packed his bags and set off on the long drive to Harbinger Lane. The house loomed before him, just as he remembered it. Tall, imposing, with dark, watchful windows. The paint peeled like scabs. The front porch sagged under the weight of neglect. The air grew cold as he stepped out of the car. A shiver ran down his spine. Taking a deep breath, Billy forced himself to walk towards the front door. The rusty key groaned in the lock. The door creaked open, releasing a musty odour. Dust motes danced in the pale light that filtered through grimy windows. Silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the ticking of an unseen clock. Every shadow seemed to writhe. Every floorboard creaked a warning. Days turned into nights. Billy tried to settle in, to ignore the unsettling atmosphere, but the house had other plans. He heard them at night, scratching sounds from the attic, soft, almost inaudible whispers. Floorboards creaked when no one was around. He told himself it was just the house settling. Old houses made noises, but deep down, a chill touched his heart. One night, the noises grew louder. A thump from the attic, a dragging sound. Billy's heart pounded in his chest. He couldn't ignore it anymore. He had to see what was up there. Grabbing a flashlight, he slowly made his way towards the attic door. The attic stairs groaned under his weight. Each step was a journey into darkness. The air grew colder, thick with dust and the scent of decay. The beam of his flashlight danced across the attic, revealing forgotten furniture and shrouded shapes. Cobwebs brushed his face like ghostly fingers. Then he saw it. In the far corner, half hidden in shadow, a mirror. It stood taller than a man, its ornate frame covered in dust. The glass was clouded, but even then he could sense a presence emanating from it, a cold, watchful presence. Drawn by an unseen force, Billy moved towards the mirror. His hand trembled as he reached out to brush away the dust. The silver frame was cold beneath his touch. As the dust cleared, he gasped. Staring back at him wasn't his reflection. It was the face of an old woman. Her eyes, wide and white, stared out with an expression of pure terror. Her skin was stretched taut across her bones, and her lips were pulled back in a silent scream. For a moment their eyes met, and a jolt of pure fear surged through Billy. Billy stumbled back, knocking the mirror to the floor. It shattered, the glass splintering into 1,000 pieces, but the old woman's reflection remained, imprinted on each shard. And then the reflections began to change. The old woman's face morphed into something else, something darker, something evil. The temperature plummeted. The air grew thick and suffocating. A low growl echoed around him, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The shadows in the attic twisted and writhed, taking on menacing forms. Billy was trapped, surrounded by unseen horrors. He was alone, with only the shattered reflection of a nightmare for company.